Monday Mindset, April 7th, 2025. Hi, everybody. I hope that you had a really nice weekend. I have a confession to make. A few weeks ago, I was feeling really exhausted. And when I tell you exhausted, my energy was so low. I was struggling to get through every day. I was needing to take a nap. And I was trying to figure out what's going on. So I found out I was deficient in a few vitamins, and that's actually helped. But there's another thing that I did and I paid really close attention to that I think is making the difference. I'm not going to say that it's 100% back to where I want it to be, but I'm not taking naps in the middle of the day anymore, and I'm not backing away from getting involved in things because I'm worried that I'm not going to have enough energy to follow through on that. So there's definitely been a transition from feeling like I can't do anything, I can't focus, I can't get anything done, I'm so tired, to okay, I'm saying yes to things and I'm getting things done and I'm progressing, which, if you know me, progress is the name of the game. So what did I do? How did I make that change from barely getting through the day to actually getting a lot done and making some progress that I'm really proud of? So there's a couple of things. Like I said, I did start on some supplements, vitamin supplements. I was low in D, which many of us are low in D. So I really encourage you to go get, especially the ladies, go get your vitamin D levels checked. And I was low in vitamin B12. So I'm taking them under the tongue right now. And I do think it's making an impact. It's something, I don't know if it's, the placebo effect, but I think it is definitely making a change for me. But here's the other thing that I am doing. Before I tell you what I'm doing, here's something that I think is an issue for everybody. Is we have to decide, that's my word, we have to decide what energies we're going to allow into us or what things we're going to allow into us, because what are those people, situations, circumstances, what are they? Are they zapping us of our energy? So I started to kind of pay attention to what was zapping me of my energy besides some of the physiological stuff. I didn't believe it was just that. And I decided that I really wanted to become aware. What were things happening during the day that were really becoming a boundary or an obstacle for me to progress? And I was like, okay, what is going on? So I really started to pay attention to this. And I started to think to myself, I have to create almost like a boundary, like almost an invisible shield, if you would, around myself, because I only want to let the good energies in, and I want to repel, I should say, the bad energies. And the only way to know what's bad energy was to take a little stock, a little inventory of what was coming in, that I was sort of, what are the days, when was I more tired than other days? And I would reflect on what went on in that day. You know how I've talked to you about that feedback loop? Well, I use that feedback loop a lot to kind of figure out what's working and what's not working. Some of the things are completely obvious and some of the things are not as obvious. And the only way that I know them is by looking at it, tracking it, measuring it, paying attention to it. So I thought to myself, I want to create a shield, and I almost want to create like a sentry, like mentally think of the shield with a sentry in front of it. And when some bad energy is trying to come at me, the sentry's like, nope, you're not allowed in, get out. And the sentry is like pushing it away. Or if it's like good stuff, the sentry's like, come on in, enjoy, and I will get the benefit of that. So this is a funny way to just think of it in your mind. You've got like a screen around you, and then there's a sentry standing up there, and the sentry is gonna let you in or gonna repel you away. So how do we know what we want the sentry to let in, and how do we know what we want the sentry to repel out? Well, you got to write down a little bit and say to yourself at the end of the day, how am I feeling? How's my energy today? And then reflect what went on for that day that kind of got you into it and made you feel good, or what went on that day that you were feeling drained and you were feeling like, oh, this is not a great day, and you were really struggling to get through the day. So I would say really taking the first step would be to taking an inventory, or just taking notes and maybe writing it down. What are the things that, not maybe you should write it down, what are the things that are feeding you, giving you juice, and what are the things taking away from the juice? I noticed that if I'm really on the phone too much, and I think this is quite obvious to everybody, but I think saying it out loud to you is really important, both for myself and for you, in case it's something that you need to hear today, especially. So I noticed that the phone is a really big drainer. I notice obviously sitting, if I'm not sort of following my thing where I get up every hour and either do a little air squats or walk on my little walking pad. If I use my breaks to then look at emails or scroll or even talk on the phone, if I use my breaks for that, that will suck the energy out of me. So that's the second thing, is like, when I identify the sucking of the energies from that inventory, it's like, okay, now that I've identified those sucking energies, then it's like, okay, what strategies can I use so that the sucking energies don't become the mantra of the day? So first I noticed it, right? Taking note of it. Second is like really pinpointing those specific things. And then the third thing is like, what are the strategies that I'm going to use to offset that, or keep myself centered, or keep myself in progress, or I'm the sentry of the screen. Have a sentry like in my mind, but I'm also the sentry too. So what am I going to do to protect that energy space? Because we all need to protect our energy. If our energy is low, we don't want to work out. If our energy is low, we don't want to call clients. If our energy is low, we feel a general malaise and we're not excited about the day. And that can become a perpetual cycle. We could actually start, like, one bad day can start a domino effect. So we all have bad moments, but we don't want to let the bad moments become the bad days. Because bad days then might become bad weeks, and bad weeks become bad months, and then all of a sudden we're in the first quarter of the year and we're looking back and we're like, what the hell did I get done this year so far? And here's my goal, and here's me, and like, what? Energy is the power to get you from here to here. So there's this gap here, and we want to keep energy as high as we can, as many days as we can. Of course, we always have those lower days. I understand that. But I want to help you to identify how you can do a pattern interrupt from the low energy and say, okay, I can see myself that I'm sitting too much. That's an example. I don't want to be sitting too much. I have to put an alarm on my phone so that I get up. And I either do some breathing, I do some jumping jacks, I do some push-ups, I do some walking. I just get my eyes off the computer, my eyes off of the phone, and I just give myself a 3-minute sort of reset moment. That's how you start to honor that energy within inside yourself. If you can't do it every hour, at least every hour and a half, 2 hours. Max 2 hours. Don't let more than 2 hours go by without doing that. So the strategy is to do a pattern interrupt, identifying the energy suckers, and then a strategy to make sure you're not doing that. And so that's one pattern interrupt, is getting up from the screen, from your phone, even from a call, and using that break as a way to reset your energy. And there's the other thing. When you stand up for 2 minutes in that like Superman or Superwoman state, and you do that, your cortisol level goes down. 2 minutes. Cortisol level goes down, your testosterone goes up, and your energy does follow that. So that's another thing that you can do as a pattern interrupt if you find your energy, which is here, like dipping. So we want to keep it up here. as much as we can for the day. So we're going to honor that space around us. Then the other thing would be identifying, is there somebody in your life that when you're around them, you feel empowered and excited and energetic? And is there somebody in your life when you're around them, you feel like they're sucking the life out of you? Identify who that person is. I'm not saying, it's not my place to say to cut them out of your life or whatever that is, but maybe you want to come up with a way to interact with them that is better for your energy. And maybe even limiting or only talking to them at a certain time when they're not going to cross that shield and take you from the place that you're trying to go backwards, right? You want to go progress forwards. So identifying maybe who those people are, the people that empower you, the people that after you talk to them, you're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm doing this. Those are the people that you want to spend more time with or you want to talk with. Those are the people that can help you. P.S. That's what I created this group for, so that we can empower you, empower each other. And I feel like I'm begging you all to like engage, but I just know that it will help you. I know that when you're in the right place with the right people, it can put a fire into that energy, and you don't need the sentry in this group to repel you out of the group. Not at all. You need to let them on in, right? To let it into that screened area. So that's I think that was 3 strategies that you can use so that you can honor the energy and really work on how can I keep energy high. Here's the thing that I started to do that I think has been really helpful to me. And I've talked about it many times with you guys, but I wanted to talk about it in terms of energy because I had never really in my mind put those two together. Every day I'm writing in my journal. Some days I'm writing a lot of pages, some days I'm writing little pages. So I'm doing like, say, free-flowing thoughts. I'm also in that same journal time doing the gratitude. Sometimes I have 3 things. More often than not lately, I've had like a lot of things. The more you start paying attention what to be grateful for, the more gratitude you like. I'm like, yeah, I have 10. I don't have to write anymore for the day. But I could have kept writing. It didn't start out that way, but that's the direction that it's going. So I'm free writing. I'm writing what I'm grateful for. I'm writing what my intention, like the overall feeling for the day that I want to have. Is it discipline? Is it focus? Is it health? Like, what is it that I sort of want the theme of the day? It doesn't mean that I'm not doing the other things. I just want it to be like the theme of the day, sort of like there behind the scenes. Like, are you doing that, Christine? Are you being disciplined? If you're about to eat that piece of crap shit that you shouldn't eat. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but you know what I mean. That's the second thing. The third thing is, what are my musts? What are my non-negotiables? And I try to keep it to 3. It doesn't mean I'm not doing other things. I think that's one of the biggest things about the non-negotiables that people get confused about is the other things, you can work on them. But these are the things that the day is not ending unless you have done them. So those are the non-negotiables. The most successful people in the world always do their non-negotiables. They're musts. They're not like, I'll try. Nope, got to get it done, right? So that's that one. And then is reviewing the day before. I give myself a score and I might tell myself why. Some days I write a lot about that. Some days I don't. But the really reflecting on how because I do this all in the morning, by the way, how I did the day before, that sort of internal feedback loop. And you have that worksheet in the resource section, which is called the Daily Rate and Review, which gives you the questions. That really has helped me to see what's a little pivot I might need to do. And it also has helped me to see where my energy is. And that piece was the unexpected gift from doing it that I didn't realize. Like, I didn't realize that my energy was getting really low certain days. And then I was like, okay, what did I do yesterday? And then it's like, oh, okay. And so that aha moment, which seems very obvious, but I think we all can talk ourselves into thinking that it really doesn't make that much of a difference. But when you do the Daily Rate and Review, you actually start to see patterns. one of the reasons I'm a good coach is that I can identify patterns pretty easily and quickly in people. And sometimes that's the biggest gift that you get from coaching. So you can do it for yourself too. And a coach really just asks you questions to help you think. But you know what? The worksheets are like your own little everyday coach. Trust me, it works. So that's what I put into the journal. And those questions and that reflection has been a game changer in me keeping my energy higher. So I know this is a long video and I probably went off on a few little tangents, but I really actually think this is probably one of the best thoughts that I've shared with you to date, because energy is the power behind all and everything that we do. And if we can work on keeping our energy high and screening what we allowed in to take away from our energy, then we are so far ahead of the people around us that success is just at our doorstep. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And Wednesday night, April 9th, 7 p.m. is our coaching session. So I look forward to seeing you then. And I would really like to hear what you guys think about this video and the other videos. So I'm going to be asking you at the session. So I will see you then. Have a great day. Bye.